Hey, how you doing? Brian Cain, your Peak Performance Coach here, and in this Monday message, I'm going to share with you one of my favorite videos I've ever seen. You see, I'm a big believer that you don't count the days in life, you make the days count, and that your time here is the most valuable asset that you have. Time is precious, and time is always ticking. And if you had 3 days left to live, I'd ask you to say, what would you do in those 3 days? It's one of my favorite questions that my mentor, Dr. Ken Reviza, asked us in graduate school day one. If you had 3 days left to live, what would you do? If one of those things had to be a job or a way that you could live, can you find a way to do that? Because if you could do it with 3 days left to live and do it for nothing, and you can get compensated to do that, you're gonna be world class, because motivation is not a problem. The problem is gonna be turning it off. And you see, finding your passion in life, the thing that you would do, ask yourself that simple question. 3 days left to live, you gotta do one thing to make money, what are you gonna do? And pursue that if that's the job that you wanna have, if that's a career path for you. Because guess what? Time is ticking. And in this video about your life left in jelly beans, I want you to take a look and realize the value of one day, the value of one jelly bean, the value of every interaction that you've been blessed to have. That 86,402nd day to invest and to give away to others.
These are roughly 28,835 jelly beans. I counted out 500 of them and used those to weigh the rest. In this pile, there's one jelly bean for each day that the average American will live. You might have more beans in your life, or maybe less, but on average, this is the time we have. Here's a single bean. It's your very first day. A special day, but kind of a rough day on everyone involved. Add 364 more and you have the first year of your life. Now, for a sense of scale, here are your first 15 years, 5,475 days, which brings us to the threshold of adulthood. And at that moment, this is the time that we have left. And this is, on average, what we will do with all that time. We will be asleep for a total of 8,477 days. If we're lucky, some of that time we'll be sleeping next to someone we love. We will be in the process of eating, drinking, or preparing food for 1,635 days. We'll be at work, hopefully doing something satisfying, for the equivalent of 3,202 of those days. 1,099 days will be spent commuting or traveling from one place to another, maybe a little bit more if you live in LA. On average, we will watch television in one form or another for a total of 2,676 days. Household activities, like chores and tending to our pets and shopping, will take another 1,576 days. And we will care for the needs and well-being of others, our friends and family, for 564 days. We'll spend 671 days bathing, grooming, and doing all other bathroom-related activities, and another 720 days will go to community activities like religious and civic duties, charities, and taking classes. After we remove all those beans, this is what remains. This is the time that we have left. Time for laughing, swimming, making art, going on hikes, text messages, reading, checking Facebook, playing softball, maybe even teaching yourself how to play the guitar. So what are you going to do with this time? How much of it do you think you've already used up? If you only had half of it, what would you do differently? What about half of that? How much time have you already spent worrying instead of doing something that you love? What if you just had one more day? What are you going to do today?